Jesus said to Levi, "Follow me." I wonder if you've ever put yourself in the context of the gospel that you just are reading or you just heard proclaimed. That's an exercise that St. Ignatius of Loyola used to encourage for all those that he was directing in spirituality. And it's a very beautiful way to immerse ourselves into the heart of what we see Jesus doing and saying. Placing ourselves in that same scene with the Lord invites us to follow him, of course, but it gives you the opportunity to maybe identify some of the other feelings that arise as you have that encounter with the Lord in the gospel. How do you see yourself reacting if the Lord said to you, "Follow me"? Would you instinctively jump up and follow? Or would you perhaps have a hesitation? Perhaps you'd say, "That's not me, Lord. Maybe I'm not here. I can't follow you right at this moment. Maybe there's something that's taking more priority." There's a lot of ways that we can maybe identify what reaction does that invitation to follow, what does that do to us? Everyone can follow, certainly. All of us should follow because God is calling. God is conversing. God is reaching out, calling us to respond. Make no mistake about that, because God is calling each and every one of us to serve God by serving others, by serving all of his creation around us. He's not asking us to do everything alone. He's not inviting us to do it all, but to rely also on the community that we are, a community that is following in the footsteps of Jesus. He's asking us to put our love into action, and God promises blessings when we are acting according to his word. The responsorial was appropriate. Teach us your way, O Lord, so that we may walk in that truth. The prayer of St. Francis says, "It is in giving that we receive." I'm sure there's no one here or in the parish that has ever volunteered in our food pantry without realizing the truth of that saying. It is in giving that we receive. How is God calling us today? Maybe that's a good question to ask ourselves at the beginning of this day. How is God calling us? And Isaiah, for instance, gives a couple instances, more than a couple, in the passage that we read from the prophet Isaiah. Help the hungry and the afflicted, Isaiah says. Yes, you can be God's eyes, ears, and hands for the poor. It may be challenging. It may take you out of your comfort zone, but know that each time that you reach out, you are bringing God's own love into the life of someone in need. As you do so, God reaches out to you and expands your own ability to love as Jesus loves. Also in Isaiah, he talks about avoid malicious speech. Talking badly about others only reinforces our own negative feelings toward them. Best when we make an effort to hold our tongue and maybe speak with someone with an open door for God's Spirit to bless them, and then you become more peaceful as well, and you become a more credible witness of God's own love in our life. So it's not just another thing to do. That's the difficulty. We need to remember that it is that following in the Lord gives us a chance to share Christ with others and to live perhaps a fuller and more joyful life ourselves. When we seek to serve the Lord, it's true that blessings flow in all directions.